We will attempt to uncover some of the unheralded facts in the world of baseball that will make you scratch your head and say to yourself, "Wow, I didn't know that." So if you're new at this channel, then please consider subscribe for daily videos. Let's get start the video. 1. A former Football Hall of Famer creates modern-day umpiring system. When former New York Giants and Green Bay Packers tackle Cal Hubbard was done playing football, he turned to baseball, but this time as an official, not a player. Hubbard was an umpire for the American League between 1936 to 1951, working 4 World Series and 3 All-Star games during his career. After being forced to retire due to a hunting accident that damaged the vision in his right eye, Hubbard became supervisor of umpires for the AL, finally retiring in 1969. Hubbard came up with the idea that umpires needed to be positioned better on the field in order to make more consistent calls, so based on his suggestion, Major League Baseball implemented the foreman umpiring crew used in each game, and that plan is still in use today. Hubbard is the only man in history to be elected to both the Baseball and Football Hall of Fame. 2. The lucky number 32. The year 1963 was definitely unique in terms of numbers. Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher Sandy Koufax and New York Yankees catcher Elston Howard each won their respective leagues' Most Valuable Player award trophies that year. Both players wore the number 32. Ironically, the NFL's Most Valuable Player award winner that year, Jim Brown, also wore the number 32. 3. Dave Winfield's errant throw lands him in jail. On August 4, 1983, during a game between the New York Yankees and Toronto Blue Jays at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto, Yankees right fielder Dave Winfield was warming up between innings when he threw a ball that struck and killed a seagull. After the game, during which fans screamed obscenities and hurled objects at Winfield for his foul act, police officials in Toronto arrested Winfield and charged him with cruelty to animals. Winfield posted bond, however, the charges were dropped the following day. Winfield's throw prompted Yankees manager Billy Martin to say, "They say Winfield hit that bird on purpose. They wouldn't say that if they saw some of the throws he's been making all year." 4. Eccentric owner attempts to force rival team out of town. In 1951, Bill Veeck bought an 80% controlling interest in the St. Louis Browns. At the time, the Browns and St. Louis Cardinals both shared Sportsman's Park, with the Cardinals paying rent to the Browns at the time. Veeck was determined to drive the Cardinals out of St. Louis, and hired former Cardinal greats Rogers Hornsby and Marty Marion for the 1952 and 1953 seasons. Veeck even hired Cardinals pitching great Dizzy Dean as a play-by-play announcer, and famously decorated Sportsman's Park with nothing but Browns memorabilia. Veeck's tactics didn't work. Anheuser-Busch bought the Cardinals in 1953, and Veeck sold Sportsman's Park to the Cardinals before finally selling the Browns to an ownership group that successfully relocated the Browns to Baltimore. 5. Home runs that weren't really home runs. In the early days of baseball, much of the first part of the 20th century was known as the dead ball era, and it wasn't until the early 1920s that balls started flying out of the stadium at a much more rapid pace. Up until the 1930 season in the American League and 1931 in the National League, a player was credited with a home run if a fly ball was hit that bounced in the playing field and then over or through the outfield fence. Apparently, none of Babe Ruth's home runs were of the bounce variety, but Lou Gehrig was in fact credited with a few bounce home runs. 6. Johnny Damon pulls off ultimate theft. In 2009, New York Yankees left fielder Johnny Damon stole only 12 bases during the regular season, and never stole 2 bases in one game. However, in Game 4 of the 2009 World Series against the Philadelphia Phillies, Damon pulled off the ultimate theft with just 1 pitch. After opening the top of the 9th with a tough 9-pitch duel against Phillies closer Brad Lidge that finally resulted in a single to left field, Damon stood on first base with Mark Teixeira at the plate. Phillies manager Charlie Manuel put his infield into a shift, deploying shortstop Jimmy Rollins to the second base side of the field, and third baseman Pedro Feliz covered shortstop. On Lidge's first pitch to Teixeira, Damon took off for second. Catcher Carlos Ruiz's throw to second was a low dribbler, and Feliz lunged to the second base side of the bag to retrieve the ball. Damon, seeing third base completely uncovered, took off with Feliz in chase. Feliz gave up running after a couple of strides, and Damon completed a double steal on just one pitch. Damon's remarkable feat spurred the Yankees to score 3 runs, giving them a 7-4 victory and a commanding 3-1 World Series lead. 7. It's a dirty job, but someone has to do it. For every MLB game, umpires and clubhouse attendants prepare approximately 6 dozen baseballs by rubbing them in mud. And it's not just any old mud. The mud is produced by an unknown source in New Jersey, designed to take the slick shine off new baseballs. 8. Red Murray and his shocking game-ending catch. On July 17, 1914, the New York Giants were playing the Pittsburgh Pirates at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh. The game dragged on for several hours before finally ending in a shocking manner. After scoring 2 runs in the top of the 21st inning to break a 1-1 tie, the Giants took the field to try and close out the drawn-out affair, and skies were dark and gloomy. Giants outfielder Red Murray camped under a fly ball that would finally end the game, and upon catching the ball, Murray was struck by a bolt of lightning, rendering him unconscious. He apparently hung on to the ball. 9. New York Yankees, not the original pinstripe fashion divas. Contrary to popular belief, the New York Yankees were not the original team to introduce pinstripes to Major League Baseball uniforms. In 1911, both the New York Giants and Philadelphia Phillies sported pinstripes on uniforms for the very first time. 10. The Spitball Grandfather Clause. Up until the 1920 season, pitchers in Major League Baseball were allowed to grease up the ball with as much saliva as they wanted. When MLB officials outlawed spitballs, they allowed pitchers who were already throwing spitballs to continue. Burley Grimes, pitching for the Brooklyn Robins at the time, continued on in the majors for another 14 seasons, becoming the last player to legally throw a spitball in 1934. Which baseball fact amazed you? Mention in comment. Hope you liked the video. If you did, hit the like button. Thanks for watching.